We're back with another 2021 rookie profile. Is Michael Carter a heat seeker? Gotta watch and find out. It's Brad from RotoHeat and RookieDraftGuide.com. Welcome back to the channel. If you guys haven't subscribed already and you've watched a video in the past, you've been remotely entertained, you've enjoyed the furry man in front of you, let's subscribe. Hit the like button. If you have already, drop a like, drop a comment. Let's get this thing up to 100 likes. And don't forget, as always, check out RookieDraftGuide.com. All right, question of the day, question of the video, like always. I've got a question for you. Do you think that Michael Carter is one of the top 5 rookie running backs in this fantasy draft class? Make sure you put a comment below and let's keep this conversation going. Carter is an interesting prospect. You know, he's about 5'9", 190, 200-ish pounds. Once we get the official weigh-in, obviously we'll update some of that information on RookieDraftGuide.com. But you know, he's not super small, not super big. You know, he's pretty much in the middle. When you look at his high school and college profile, which is, if you've watched these episodes before, we lump high school, college, then we talk about what we expect him to do at the NFL level. He was very talented. So when you look at like 247 rivals, some of those, you know, only a 3-star prospect. If you look at say like 247, you know, he was kind of like he was in the top 10 for all-purpose backs in their rankings in the 2017 class. You know, he was the USA Today Florida Offensive Player of the Year coming out of high school, Mr. Football by the Florida Dairy Farmers Association. You know, if you go to 247, you can look at the player's profile. I mean, there's a lot to like about Carter coming out of high school. And he goes to UNC, and there's just as much to like. You know, he's in a backfield with Javonte Williams, who's another guy in this draft class, another talented running back. And they produced well together. They worked well together. You know, you see at the NFL level committee approach, and you're seeing that here at UNC, where both of these guys are utilized in a committee approach, and both produce very nicely. So his freshman and sophomore years, you know, both years he had less than 100 attempts, 97 and 84. Then he had 559 yards, 597 yards, respectively, in those 2 years. You know, was involved in 11 games and 9 games those first 2 years. You know, definitely involved in the offense. They continue to grow and develop him, used in the receiving game a fair amount as well. But 2019 and 2020 is when we see an explosion. So 2019, he played 13 games. He had 177 attempts for 1,003 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also added another 21 receptions for 154 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then here in 2020, 11 games, 156 carries, 1,245 yards, 9 touchdowns, 25 receptions, 267 yards, 2 touchdowns. You know, you begin to see what Carter is in the college level, and you can already begin, you know, as I was saying, these statistics, just on the stats alone, you begin to formulate the type of kind of prospect you see this gentleman coming into in the NFL. But there's so much more to Carter, you know, from the intelligence side of things, from his ability to play well within his own scheme, to play well within, you know, with the football IQ side of things. You know, in watching his college tape, we got really excited about what he could be. You know, if you want some games to look at, obviously RookieDraftGuide.com, we're going to put tape up there for you so that you can use us as your one-stop shop. But if you're going out and searching, you know, basically any of the film in 2019 and 20, you're going to get a good idea of what the good and the bad of Carter can be. You know, think about like Miami this year was stellar game across the board for Carter. You know, in 2019, I mean, Pittsburgh, Clemson, I mean, some tough competition. He didn't show up as well as you would have liked. There were some things that you saw there that you'd like to see better. But, you know, coming out of college, we're very excited about Carter. There's a lot to like about him. He developed well from high school into college, and it projects well into what we're going to talk about next in the pro side of things. So remember, a few minutes back, I asked you, is Carter one of your top 5 rookie running backs in this class? And I asked that question. Anytime I ask these questions, I'm asking them because I believe that he's got that type of potential. And in looking at how the RookieDraftGuide.com team evaluated him, I can see the case being made that he makes up into that top tier of guys. You know, so think Etienne, Najee Harris, Gainwell, Williams, Hubbard. I mean, you start to see some of the names on Javian Hawkins, Boyd. I mean, there's a lot of names. Well, Carter is a guy that stands out in a lot of ways because of not only what he did in college, but what he can do on the field with the ball in his hands. Great vision. When I look through evaluators' notes, great patience came up. He's able to take the ball to the house on any given play. So when you're on the clock in the back half of the first round, beginning of the second, your palms are sweaty. Do you hit that button? Do you take Michael Carter? Well, I'm not going to tell you yes or no, but what I am going to tell you is RookieDraftGuide.com will have where we think you need to pick him. What I'm going to tell you, though, is Carter probably is going to push himself into that conversation if he isn't already because of some of these things. Obviously the college production is there, but what he can do from his size, from his height, weight, speed, all of that, the athletic profile, he's very dynamic. One of the evaluators threw Etienne around in there that he's not as overall good as Etienne, but not far off. There's another one that I want to read you word for word because I think it's a good one. A shiftier version of Javonte Williams. Quick feet, which allows him to change direction without losing much speed. Great hands, but lacks power on inside runs. I mean, that says a lot. So what kind of player would you project him to be when you hear things like that? Well, you expect him to be kind of the 1B, used maybe as a second, third down type guy who could be used to run to the outside or maybe catch the ball in the backfield. Obviously we didn't see a ton of receptions in college. He only had, he had less than 100 receptions throughout his 4 years at UNC. But we didn't see anything, and especially when I went back and watched him, I didn't see anything when it came to the hand side of things that made me go, I don't think he's going to be able to be a receiver out of the backfield. He only had a fumble in the last 2 years, so we know that he's good at securing the ball. He really can do all the things you want him to do. If you're looking for the negative, the inside runner might be the area for Carter that he's going to need to work on the most. But this guy could be the type of sneaky guy that if you can't afford to go after one of those top 3 or 4 running backs, maybe he is your 5, 6, 7, where you can target him, get him at a better price, get fairly good value, and he fills a need at running back for you. Maybe. I think he definitely has value. I definitely think that he's an intriguing prospect, and the RotoHeat team thinks he is as well. Let me know in the comments below what you think about him so that I can respond to you and we can have the fun banter back and forth that we have. I love talking to you guys and hearing your perspectives. Don't forget Discord, Facebook, all the places that I tell you in every single one of these videos. Hopefully you've watched to this point. If you do, I appreciate you guys. Comment. If you watch the entire video, let me know because I'll thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. We here at RotoHeat and Rookie Draft Guide we're growing this fantasy community. We're working hard to give you guys an outlet to be able to grow and mature in your fantasy knowledge, as well as do it in a place where you're not felt like people look down on you. There's too many negative forces in the fantasy world, and RotoHeat and Rookie Draft Guide are here to shine a little light on you. We thank you guys as always. We appreciate you guys for everything you do, everything you say, being a part of our live streams, which are now officially back. The Monday night and Thursday night shows that I host are back. We will talk to you guys again in the next video. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you later.